Hello everybody, and welcome to week 2 speech assignment. What we're going to be doing this week is what I like to call a brush with greatness. And what I want you to do is to tell us about a time when you met somebody who was famous or otherwise great. You could have just been passing at the airport. It doesn't have to be an elaborate story, but anytime you met somebody famous. If you've never met somebody famous, that's cool too. I've had people give great speeches about why their grandfather was a great person, or how they had a teacher or a coach or somebody else who made a great impact in their life. So anytime you met somebody famous or otherwise great, that's what we're looking for. I'll give you 2 examples. The first didn't happen to me, but it's why I do this assignment, because I always get to hear such cool stories when we do this. And this happened a while back. This was when I was at the University of South Florida working on my PhD. I had a student, and she and her mom were both big Billy Joel fans. They loved Billy Joel. Right, so it's kind of weird, I know, like the same music as your mom, but they saved up their money, right? They didn't have a lot of money, and Billy Joel tickets, very expensive. They saved their money, and they went to the Billy Joel concert, and they're having a great time. They're all dancing together, you know, getting down to Billy Joel. And then concert ends, they go back out to their car, and their car won't start. Now, nowadays, everybody has a cell phone, but at the time, this is getting kind of back in the day, only rich people had cell phones, and that was not them. So they went back into where they'd been watching the show, and they're looking for a payphone or somebody so they can call a tow truck and get a jump. And they can't find anything. So their mom's like, well, what do we do? And she said, well, you know, if we just walk down towards the stage, eventually a security guard is going to, stop us, and we'll be able to, ask where our phone is, and we'll be able to get it taken care of. And so they're walking down towards the stage, and they walk in, and all of a sudden a voice comes from down by the stage area, and it's like, hey, can I help you? And they yell, yeah, our car won't start, we need a jump. And a guy jumps off the stage, and he goes, oh, I can help you with that. And he walks up to him, and it's Billy Joel. And he says, hey, nice to meet you. Yeah, just a minute, follow me. And he takes them back, and he gets one of the stadium cars, and he drives the stadium car over to their car. He pops the hood on both of the cars, and he himself puts the black to the black and the red to the red, and jump starts their car for them. If you ever become a celebrity, that is how to treat your fans. I love that story. I will now lower, that's such an amazing story. I'm gonna lower the bar now many rungs and tell you about a brush with greatness that I had one time. When I was 21 years old, I tried stand-up comedy. I was just kind of starting out and trying it for, kind of very, very new to it. And I quit, and I came back to it. And it's a long story, but anyhow, when I was like 21, I lived in California, and I drove an hour and a half into LA, and I go to this tiny little comedy club in LA. They have an open mic night on like a Tuesday night, and there's like 9 comics, and there's like 5 people in the audience, and I'm like, this is gonna be terrible. And then Shaquille O'Neal and his entourage of 30 guys walk into the club, right? And if you've never seen Shaq, I was sitting in the bar stool when he walked in, and his hand swung by my head. Imagine how high, right? I'm sitting in a bar stool, and his hand goes by my head, and his hand is the size of a microwave. Okay, he's got that Shaquille O'Neal, that Superman ring on his finger, and I could have worn it as a bracelet. He's not a regular human being, okay? And so he sits down in like the 3rd row of the show, in the middle, and every time he thinks something's funny, you hear that Shaq laugh, that and so he is totally a part of the show. He's every bit of a part of the show. So the host that night says, hey, Shaq, they tell me you like to joke around. It is an open mic night. You want to tell a joke? And Shaq goes, yeah, I'll tell a joke. And he goes up on stage, right? And he goes, this is my impression of a pregnant woman. And he lifts his shirt up, right? And he pulls, he's wearing those cotton basketball shorts, and he pulls them all the way up like a G-string, all right? And he's got his stomach hanging out, and he looked exactly like a pregnant woman. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. It was really funny, but also weird. So my brush with greatness was seeing Shaq's butt, which I don't know if that's really a brush with greatness, but it was, he's a pretty great guy. So any kind of time you met somebody famous or otherwise great, tell us about that. Again, a minute, aim for like a minute, and that'd be awesome. Thanks for playing, guys. See you next week.